Howdy. Happy Saturday. I hope it's Saturday. Hey Siri. I don't know if it's Saturday or not, but I think it is. Okay, so basically, I wanted to stream my real life routine, how my day is going, and how I am going to use my Saturday to build out content slash figure out how to fine tune routines that I've been making for the daily habits for myself. So basically, if you are just tuning in or if you've been here, I'll recap. I started my Twitch channel basically to try and document what has been going on with my own health, because it's obviously something that is important, not just to me, but hopefully to you as well. And for me, it's more or less trial and error, right? Like a lot of times people say like, oh, I'm going to do this exercise because somebody else had really good results, or my doctor recommended it, or I saw it online, right? But everybody's different. Everybody's results are different. Every method has a different impact on people depending on, you know, your environment, body composition, like mindset, all of those things, right? So I feel like I've tried a gambit. I feel like I've tried a bit, but I've never really put my own compilation of theories together, and I think that that's important when you're doing any sort of research or applying any sort of information to your life, or to, you know, a conclusion you might draw, information you might share with somebody else, is to not just take it from one source and be like, okay, this is, you know, the fact, this is the knowledge, this is all I need, but instead to grab from as many different areas as you can, whether that's different practices in exercise like Pilates or yoga or step or Zumba, anything like that. And then maybe combining that with weightlifting or strength and conditioning or mobility, or maybe you want to play some sort of sport, like you want to do kickball or flag football or any of those things, right? So in order to have complete wellness, it's not just about being able to lift a certain amount of weight or hold a certain pose, but it's really a compilation of all the things that allow us to live a healthy life, from being able to get up in the morning, get out of bed, and, you know, carry on with our day, to the thoughts that we have, etc. So this channel, my content is really just about exploring those different methods and figuring out how to put them together in a way that is most beneficial, you know, what is it? Not high end. What is it? Up to date, modern tech. I'll figure it out later. There's a term for it. I'm so old I can't remember it right now. But yeah, that's basically where I'm at right now. I am trying to show you what this looks like in real time. That's what my Twitch is for. My Twitch is essentially building out the routines before I polish them and share them with the broader internet. So people that don't use Twitch, for example, might find my content on YouTube, hopefully watch my YouTube videos, because that's where I'm going to be spending the most time as far as like editing goes. Holy shit, editing is more than half of the battle, I'm not gonna lie, for me anyway, because it's all completely new. And then of course other platforms like TikTok and Instagram, to just kind of give you an idea of what the little activities will look like, or what the exercises might be, so that you are interested in going back and, you know, following the routines or figuring out how to customize a routine for yourself. So I did a stretching routine on Sunday. I always do stretching on Sunday, Sunday stretching, and then mobility Monday. Monday was it was a day. So I was pretty excited about streaming. I had like this whole plan of like making a stretching routine, and then making a mobility routine that was focusing on the back. And basically I was recording, if you see it, I think it's still up, the gimbal that I was using, because I don't usually use a gimbal. I usually am ghetto, and I just prop my phone up against like a book or something, and I just kind of like make sure it's like stable enough to not move. And then that's all I do. But I was like, hey, like I have a gimbal. I've had it for a really long time. Why don't I just use the gimbal? I hope that's not too loud. Like, why don't I just use the gimbal to get like the perfect angle and everything? And it was great. I feel like it was, seamless. I plugged everything in, turned it on, found the angle. It was perfect. Didn't have to sit there and go back and forth like I normally do. And then about halfway through the video, because I streamed for an hour, about halfway through the video, the gimbal malfunctioned, for lack of a better word. I don't really know what happened because I wasn't touching it, but it just started like shaking back and forth, and it wouldn't stabilize itself. And basically it kept doing that and doing that, so I had to like take it off the gimbal to get it to stop shaking as much, and then try and like reposition it in the old school way, where like I had to like grab something and like shift it and all of that. And by the time I was able to finagle everything and get everything into a doable position into a presentable angle, it was just like too much. Like, time had passed, the video had shut off, I wasn't in a good mood anymore, and I was like, man, if I try to pick it back up, like, the whole point of having a routine is the flow of all of it. And so yeah, I feel like that had gotten completely ruined. But on a positive note for me, and maybe for you, I did keep exercising after that. I went upstairs and I was like, I'm just gonna stretch in my room, because again, I really needed it. The more I'm doing these routines, and hopefully for you too, the more you do them, the more you realize like, oh my gosh, this is really helpful, and your body starts to crave it. So my body was like, bruh, we're doing this with or without you. So yeah, I ended up doing it on my own, but there's about 30 minutes of that. So I will get back to that in a few days, with Mondays in like 2 days. I will get back to that. But I am doing my first official YouTube video. I want to get it out in a couple days. So today's technically Saturday. I was going to say this week, because normally I stream on Sundays. I'm still streaming tomorrow, but my plan is to get it out technically this week, right? Next week, but within the next 7 days. And so I, of course, had to pick a topic and basically like kind of research a lot about how to make videos and how to make them flow and what people are looking for and like all of this stuff, right? Because I know they say just record it, just make a video, post it, the first one's gonna suck regardless, blah de blah de blah, and I'm sure that's true, but we all have standards, right? And just like with my Twitch videos, like things were really bad in the beginning, and I pretty much deleted all of them, right? Because it was just like, I don't want to say embarrassing, because the whole point is to like show you my growth, but even just like the angles and like the lighting and all that stuff, it was just like, if I had to spend a little bit more time on prepping those things, I would probably be able to retain more of that content, and then it would be better for future comparisons before and after or things like that. Because yeah, my content really is about the journey and what it looks like, whether it's positive or negative, or going great or going horribly. So yeah, here I am, it's Saturday. My plan is to kind of finalize what I want the routine to be, and then kind of document what it looks like as I'm multitasking, because I know when I'm streaming, I say like, okay, it's stretching time, let's all find a space and just do the stretches right now. But I also try and encourage everybody and myself to use your time wisely, and that's why this stream is subtitled Multitasking, because if you have the opportunity to do some sort of stretch or some sort of exercise while you're doing something else, then it is beneficial in 2 ways, right? You're getting 2 things done. Your body is having another chance to add in an activity. Maybe it adds in 2 activities in one day rather than 1, or 3 rather than 1, right? Whenever you find time. And finding the flow is listening to your body, right? So if your body's like, yo, we're watching TV and I kind of want to stretch. Like, listen to it, do it. And if you don't do it automatically, maybe make a mental note or set like a timer, reminder in your phone when you know you're just going to be staring at your phone or staring at like a screen in some way, and just say, hey, I know I'm going to be looking at my phone, so make sure I'm sitting in a position, right? Like, I do not sit like this when I'm sitting, you know, lounging, we'll say. Like, I have to consciously think to sit in this position because for me, this is a stretch, right? My ankles are always stretching, and when I sit like this, I don't know if that's just going to be a constant for me, but it did take me a long time to be able to sit on my ankles like this without it causing me pain. And so this to me is an active stretch. So if I am really trying to do something simple, I'm going to be looking at my phone or maybe writing in my planner or something like that, then sitting like this, it's a what's the word? It's a passive way to engage my body and do something that's good for my body without having to think too much about it. Now, right now, because I am thinking about it, my legs and my ankles are kind of like, okay, bro, we've been sitting like this for a while. So again, this is one of those moments where I would say, okay, like maybe I would get up and I would sit on a chair and be like, okay, that was plenty. Or I could switch right into another position. I don't know if you can see this because I feel like this angle isn't quite right. I'm still trying to figure this space out, but I think for now, I've officially moved into this yoga studio space for the foreseen future because it's a little bit more comfortable for me to have carpet, and I think I set this wall up well enough that I'll be able to do handstands and stuff on it because most of the things on here are flush to the wall, and I shouldn't be like banging the wall and like, you know, really falling. So I kind of think it'll work here. I think it'll be okay. I'll be able to do more in this space, and I'll be able to do it during all hours of the day instead of, you know, when I think it'll be less congested downstairs and all of that. Because the different times of the day have different sounds. So yes, this is where I'm going to be now, and I will still be working on the specific angles. Like I said, I just decided, you know what, today is the official studio day, introducing the studio officially. I know I've been in here before, but I'm going to stay up here now. This is where I'm going to be. And yeah, so welcome to the studio. It is my humble space, and I am essentially just going to be using this space for streaming, and I also have like a TV right here, it's basically where if I have people over and for some reason we need to watch something, like maybe there's like a sporting event or something on, like there was a fight on, like have people come over. But as you can see, it's not that big of a space, so it's usually like me or like 2 or 3 other people. There's like squishmallows over here, and obviously like this space and stuff, so it's big enough for that, but it wouldn't, I mean, it's not a space where like I could have 2 people really working out in here. Maybe 2 if it we like spaced out a certain way, but it's never going to be one of those like big spaces where, you know, a bunch of people are going to be able to come. Maybe, like I said, two or 3 people max would make this space, you know, pretty full. So I am going to be working in here. I know I feel like I'm repeating myself, but also I kind of am excited to have this stream today because I have been procrastinating so much this last couple of days, and I am literally thinking to myself, like, where the fuck did the time go? Like, what have I been doing? Why is it already midnight? And the only thing I can remember that I did today is get up, drink coffee, because that's supposed to make my day go by more productively, right? But for whatever reason, that isn't happening. So I am on stream, so I can investigate this shit. That's part of the plan, right? Part of the research. figure out why the fuck I'm not getting anything done. See if it's just like, because I don't talk to myself, right? At least I don't think I do. So if I'm talking to the stream, then this is something that's either going to help me process what's currently happening, be more present, I guess. It is definitely helping me to be more present. But we'll see. Maybe I'll forget that I'm streaming somewhere in here. A lot of times I'll turn on Twitch and I'll watch Twitch or have it playing in the background while I'm doing something. And I'm trying to decide if that's been helpful or hurtful lately. It was definitely helpful at one point in my life where, you know, just being able to tune in with somebody else on Twitch was like making me feel, not even to sound parasocial, but it was making me feel like I was leaving the house. You know, it's just like, you don't go anywhere, you stay home all day, but if somebody else is going somewhere and you're able to watch them, you know, follow around with their camera as they go through, you still kind of got to see the world that day, like a live view of what happened that day, a real live view, and not just like a clip of some news thing or, you know, some pre-made content. So yeah, it was very helpful for me to have Twitch and just have it on in the morning or when I woke up, just to kind of have that mindset of like, I'm up, I'm aware of what's happening in the world, like, you know, like I said, not to be parasocial, like, oh, I just did this thing, but just like mentally to take your space out of just like your room or your walls and, you know, again, see what's going on. Go check out China, right? So yeah, basically, I did do that, but over time I'm starting to feel like I want to kind of do my own thing in the morning. That's me. I want to kind of do my own thing in the morning a little bit more. Like, I want to get up and sort of like write in my journal right away instead of like turning on Twitch and seeing like what someone else's research was the night before. And so I'm in like a weird limbo because I know it's good for me to have a mental state where, again, I'm going with the flow, I'm listening to my body and my brain. If it tells me I should start stretching or it tells me I should start, you know, writing, I should listen to it as long as it's safe, you know. But I also feel like I need to have like some connection to the world. Like, I think everyone throughout history, every civilization has had a way to like connect or stay informed with the world, right? Like, whether it's pop culture or politics or sporting events, like whatever, having like some sort of connection source to what's current and what's going on amongst real people in the real world is like, I feel like it's almost like a necessity, right? To just like be in tune with the fact that there are other people existing on the planet other than you. And so for me, that's been Twitch, right? Like, I listen to people's commentary on, like, you know, sports and music and politics, and it's great because that's the only way I'm getting it right now. Like, I'm not interested, nor do I have the time to dig through like the latest CIA, you know, released files and, you know, all of that stuff, right? Like, somebody else did the work, they highlight the parts that are important, I read those parts and then make a conclusion, you know, on my own. So yeah, I feel like I need to get away from it a little bit more, and I'm going to try and do more multitasking, and also, I guess now streaming, at least we'll try it today. So yeah, what happened this morning is my routine, my stream, and my first video for YouTube. I feel like I'm rambling, but I'm really not. Like, all of this stuff is really important for me to have documented and for you to know about because it's happening this week. But yeah, so my first YouTube video is part of a series of healthy habits and basically like building routines to put you on autopilot. So that when you have like your ADD days or your depressed days or your super, super busy days or your scattered brain days, your body still does what it needs to do without you thinking about it, right? And if you drive a car, you might have experienced this before, where it's like you're driving home and you look up and you're at home and you're like, holy fuck, I don't even remember driving. Like, I don't remember anything after stopping at the first light, or I don't remember anything after, turning this corner, right? And it's like, holy shit, like, why didn't I get in a car crash? Like, it's because your brain and your body are so familiar with what you're doing and what your route is, that it doesn't need to have your consistent, undivided attention, right? It's kind of like when you are watching TV or you're listening to something in public, like, you can still hear other sounds, right? I can hear the TV and I can hear somebody walks by. I can hear the TV, I can hear if there's a car that drives by. Or if I'm outside, I'm having a conversation, I can hear the person I'm talking to, but I can also hear a lot of what's going on around me if I tune in. And that's part of our body's natural habits, our natural rhythms. And like I said, I like to call it our autopilot, because it's not totally unsafe, right? Like, autopilot exists for a reason. It helps you to, take the pressure off, take the stress off, take less mental space, capacity. Yeah, see, I need it, because even words for me right now. It gives you the ability to relax enough to free up your mind for something else, whether that be just to clear your mind a little bit, or to focus on the thing that's trying to get your attention, right? And when you do this, you become productive enough to carry on with your day without getting super backlogged or super behind. And this happens to me specifically in the morning. I noticed this about myself when I was really young, but I started to learn a lot more about it over the last 2 years or so. And that is just me having a clear plan of how the first hour of my morning will go. And it really is more like an hour and a half, 2 hours, because when I wake up in the morning, my brain, you might be like this, like, I'm so tired still, like, I'm kind of like, my brain is trying to recall all the things that it wanted to do the night before, right? Like, I have like a checklist in my head of the things that I want to do the next day, and then when I wake up in the morning, my brain's like, oh, like, what were those things? And then on top of that, it's like, okay, what were those things, and what else has popped up since then, and what is the weather like, and what do I need to wear, am I leaving the house? Like, all these new thoughts start flooding in, and that's assuming everything is going according to plan, right? Like, let's say you wake up and it's snowing, or you wake up and your dog threw up, or you got a flat tire. Like, all these things slightly change the way that you go about your day and the productivity level. If something happens and it throws you off of that schedule, it could be hard for your brain to pick back up to where it needs to be and kind of sit it in a place, at least for me, where it's like, okay, what am I doing next? What am I supposed to do next? So if you have those routines and you have that specific order, and not to be anal, but like literally you have that specific order, just like you have when you drive home, right? I know I'm going to take a left here, I know I'm going to take a right here, I know there's going to be, a tree and a cone on this corner. Like, those things are details that are important for your brain to check, checkpoints basically. So if I know in the morning my sequence of events, whether or not I need to know the sequence, or whether or not the sequence is important, like, I need to brush my teeth before I go to the bathroom, or go to the bathroom before I brush my teeth, those things might seem insignificant, but when you're on autopilot, it's part of the process of your brain just knowing what's next, not knowing that there's other things to do. Because if your brain just knows there are 5 things I need to do in the bathroom before I leave the bathroom, then your brain, when you're super tired or groggy, you might just be thinking, I'm sitting on the toilet, what do I need to do next? And then the next thing you know, your legs are falling asleep, and you just want to get back in the bed because you couldn't figure out what the next couple steps were, right? Versus just saying, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stretch. That's going to make me a little more alert when I get out of bed to go to the bathroom. I'm gonna go to the bathroom, I'm gonna come back, I'm gonna make up my bed, then I'm gonna go back into the bathroom, and I'm gonna, take my medication, I'm gonna brush my teeth, I'm gonna wash my face, and then I'm gonna go walk my dog, right? And that is actually my plan. That is exactly what I do. That was not my plan a couple months ago. I did not have a fucking plan. I was all over the place, and I was definitely one of those people that got stuck in the bathroom. Not necessarily with my legs falling asleep, but I heard of that happening to other people, and it has happened to me like once or twice in my life, so I'm just assuming that happens to people in the morning, but I'm not judging. Yeah. So basically, with that being said, my routine is, I think it's going well. It could definitely be going better, but the fact that it exists now, I'm very happy with. And because it exists and because I've been doing it consistently enough, I'm able to better understand, like, kind of dissect why and what. Because before, somebody said, make a routine, like, cool, make a routine. But what does that actually entail, and what are the qualities necessary to have a successful routine? Like, sounding like a good routine is great. Like, get up at 6 a.m., make a protein shake, go to the gym. Like, those things sound cool, but one, are they realistic for you at the moment, right? You want to build into a routine. You don't want to just throw yourself off the deep end and then be mad at yourself for not achieving, the routine or sticking to it. You want to make sure you know the details of it so that you can execute it precisely. That sounds so, like, Poindexter. But you really want to know the details of it, okay? Saying you're going to make a protein shake is, even that is kind of loose, right? Like, what kind of protein shake? Are you going to need ice? Are you going to need cut vegetables? Are you just scooping something from a little tub or a bin? Because those steps are also mental processes. Like, in the morning, I make a breakfast shot, and I don't just say, make a breakfast shot, because that is not enough for my brain when I go downstairs. I'm going to make a breakfast shot. It is like, okay, I open the fridge, and I'm like, breakfast shot. And I kid you not, sometimes I just stare, and then I close the fridge back, and I'm like, well, let me start with a cup. Let me just make sure I have a cup. So now I've made it very clear instructions for my breakfast shot to grab out these specific things in specific order. And again, I know it sounds anal, but because I'm on autopilot, when I wake up in the morning, I'm like literally in a brain fog, and then my brain just suddenly goes, this is the next step, right? It's like, again, like tying your shoe. You don't really have to think about it. You don't have to look. It's just what you know to do. So I make my breakfast shot. I pull everything out of the refrigerator in the same order. I've even started using the same cup, because I've noticed that when I try to wash a cup or put it in the dishwasher, then when I want to use it the next day, or when I want to make a shot the next day, my cup is a different size, or my cup is dirty, and then that also will kind of mess with the way that I process my routine. So just having the same cup and having it ready to go every day, it takes like a second to wash it, right? Because it's already wet. You just drink your drink, and you basically rinse it out and put it back on the shelf. Like, it's not that bad. So yeah, that's what I do. And then I used to, this is why I'm still building this, I used to then go over to my like reading window sort of lookout area where the plants are, and like go through my planner and like figure out what I need to do with my day and things like that. But for some reason I kind of fell off doing that. I'm not really sure what happened. I really don't know, because I was also making really good breakfasts for myself at that time, and I really need to rework eating back into my routine. But yeah, so after that, my plan is kind of just scattered, and that's where I am now on Saturday. I drink my breakfast shot, I have my coffee, I walked my dog, right? I did all of those things, and then this is where I find myself. And I think, okay, I need to look through my planner, and I need to see what it is I need to do next. And I usually then open my planner in my bedroom now, and being in my bedroom has been tricky. It's been tricky because once I'm in there, I can stay in there all day, because I feel like everything I need is there. got my bathroom and my dog and, you know, all my electronics and stuff. So maybe that's why today also is a little bit different, because now that I am planning to make my YouTube videos, I've also been trying to film B-roll content, which I'm not even sure if I'm saying that right, but if I am saying that right, it's basically content. It's basically content that goes in between the like speaking and direct recording versions of your video. So like maybe like a transition if I'm like talking about something and I don't want to just be staring at the camera like this the whole time. I might have like an example of me doing the thing while I'm talking over it. So I have not put any of that together yet. I basically just recording a bunch of stuff, and I'm gonna see what it looks like. This is what I've been wearing. I don't even know if this is gonna be a cute outfit or not. I might just have to like redo or like show the before and after of this series, because I don't even know if I can clip it from Twitch. I don't know if I'm gonna want to do that. I don't know if the quality is gonna be good. But with that being said, check out the video. I don't know if the quality looks better right now. I hope it does, because for the first time, I am streaming with my back camera. Normally, I use my front camera because I've been recording on my phone, and I like to be able to see what I'm doing to make sure that I have, like, you know, myself in the screen and all that, which I know, like, I'm kind of cut off. I'm gonna cut off past this point. But yeah, now I finally have the back camera on so I can see, or you can have a better view, because I finally got a new phone. I am so excited to announce that I feel like an official content creator. I officially have a recording tool that is dedicated to recording. It is not just my phone that I kind of switch back and forth. And this is making me really excited, because now I feel like I'll be able to, you know, have a seamless interaction between, like, you know, what I'm doing here and IRL content and just like everything. I feel like I won't have to worry about switching back and forth and battery and all of that stuff. And I think I want to do eventually like a couple of YouTube videos on like how I'm setting up and how I'm getting started, just because it is a process and I think it's interesting. Like, I like watching other people's videos about like how they set up and what they use to get started, because I really feel like everybody has their own method, and at least the people I watch, they're successful in my eyes, and they've all have different methods. So yeah, a big one, people were saying like, oh, get a camera, you need to have something that you can take your pictures and recording on. And cameras are expensive, and I wanted to get a Osmo, I think it's a DJ Osmo 3 or something like that, because it streams IRL content, and it's really small, and it's got the little front camera, all that, like gimbal, and I wanted it so bad, and I was very close to buying it. And then I realized for the creator bundle, which is what I would need, right, to make all my content, the creator bundle was close to $800. I think that was like the cheapest I could find it. And then, so that was a lot. And I was like, wow, $800 is like basically a new phone, like, but it's gonna be better quality because it's video, right? Like, it's designed for video. And then I was researching it more, and apparently, like, it's the quality of the phone camera is still pretty much just as good, if not better, than the DJ Osmo. And so I was just like, well, if I can get a phone, and then it's gonna have, apps and all these other opportunities to use it, it's not a unitasker, as Alton Brown would say, don't judge me. Yeah, since it's not a unitasker, I'll be able to use it for other things. And then the final nail in the coffin against getting the DJ Osmo, which I'm very grateful I figured this out, it is not compatible with streaming. Okay, now that is a big deal for me, because even though I want to do more filming for my YouTube channel specifically, There's no situation, there's no world where I wouldn't rather stream IRL content over making full-fledged videos. Um, and maybe I'll talk about that more, but I just feel so much more comfortable free falling and streaming than anything, and I feel like I can be more authentic. Like, I feel like, you know, when you take a picture, somebody's like, say cheese, and you're like, ee, and it's just like not what you normally look like when you smile, and you just look really funny. That's how I feel when I know I am recording myself, when I'm on camera. And I know I'm recording myself and I'm on camera right now, but I feel like it takes me a minute. Like, it takes me at least maybe 20 minutes. You be the judge, but I feel like it takes me a minute before I like kind of relax in front of the camera, and I don't feel like I'm like, you know, like selling you something. Because I'm not. I don't want to be selling you anything. I want you to do this shit with me. I want you to judge me and give me your feedback and tell me how yours is going. But yeah, so I got a new phone. This is the new phone. And then the phone that I'm recording on right now is my old phone. So I haven't decided. I know I'm not stretching very well right now because I'm like trying to, like, talking and stretching is actually harder than it looks. This is why routines are important. See, if I had a routine for this right now, I would not be having an issue talking to you, because I would just know, okay, I just did this one's next. And I wouldn't have to sit here and think, okay, what should I do next? And it makes me just want to show you what my morning routine one is. And I think I'm just going to do that because I'm so confused with where I'm at anyway. So I'm going to show you my morning routine in a second. Yeah, I said all that to say this. I'm getting serious with my shit. I finally have a dedicated camera. I got my dedicated studio space. I got my dedicated MacBook. And I feel like I have officially everything I need to feel confident in creating content. I know that you might not need all of these things to get started, and everybody starts at different places. But my confidence level right now, I feel like mentally my brain's like, do you have this? Are you ready for that? And now it's like, yes, 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 yes. I have it, I have it, I have it. And now I'm just going to put it all together, and everybody's going to fucking love this shit and be super happy, and the world's going to be all rainbows and butterflies and free cake, free money. That's what it's going to be like. I've decided. So yeah, this is Saturday, March 8th, and I'm staying positive. I get to share something negative with you right now that happened to me that I found out about. It's not that serious, but it kind of sucks. I'll tell you, I got a parking ticket, bruv. Or no, I got a speeding ticket. I'm so mad. I was going 28 in a 25, so I was going 3 miles over the speed limit. But the reason why I got a ticket is because it was technically a school zone during that time. I know what you're thinking. Oh my gosh, you were speeding in a school zone. No. If you look at the school zone, I mean, it was a school there for sure, but there was no, like, it's dead space. Like, there's like a private school there. I've never seen kids coming in or out of that school. The parking lot is always empty. And so I think it's just one of those like automatic things where it's like, oh, like there's a school right here, you're getting a ticket. Yeah, because I wasn't just like, you know, speeding through some zone. I didn't get pulled over. It's just like one of those automatic camera things. Yeah, so it's unfortunate. It's like $250, and I could spend $250 to go to Vegas. That was exactly what I was gonna do with $300 like 2 days ago. So now I don't know if I'm gonna go to Vegas because I just have to pay for a ticket for going 3 miles over residential speed limit. Yeah. But I could be handling it a lot worse. I'll tell you that much. I could be handling it a lot worse. I could be handling it. I said I could be handling it. Alright, so yes. What is my routine? So I told you what my morning routine is. as far as once I get out of bed, but what I was recording this morning and what I'll be recording for my YouTube video and what I'll be sort of demonstrating now in the process into getting into that is my morning. And I need to figure out what I'm going to call it, because I don't want to say it's a yoga routine. I really want to get away from the word yoga. Like, I feel like it's got this like overarching concept of what yoga is that like kind of limits people's idea of what they can do and whether or not they're accepted in a community. Because I feel like when people think of yoga, they think of like crazy like stretches and poses and like bending and loud like hatha breathing and like hot yoga, and they think about all these things when it really, what we're doing, what I'm doing, are variations of stretching and poses and mobility and just sets, right? It's like a combination of those things to have like a physical activity. Yeah, so I need to find a way to say physical activity that is not under the overarching word yoga, that is not under the overarching term exercise, that is not under the overarching term stretching. Like, I want something broader than that, that kind of has like an umbrella for all of those things, and I might have to figure it out on my own. But yeah, it's not just yoga, it's not just stretching, it's not just mobility, it's a combination of those things. Every single time I build a routine, it's a combination of those things. Unless I specifically say like this is going to be just yoga or this is going to be just calisthenics. And even those things kind of blend together, right? So fuck it. My morning routine, I developed it. I'm still kind of working on it, but I think it's pretty good for now. I think it's worth sharing for now. It involves a sequence from being in bed to getting out of bed and walking into the bathroom, or it could be the process of getting out of bed, walking to the bathroom, and then finishing either in the bathroom or back in your room wherever you woke up. And the reason for this is moving your body when you first get out of bed is always a good thing, just like drinking water when you first get out of bed, and like replenish your body and move it from being stagnant for so long, right? Also, the more you move your body in the morning, the more oxygen and flow you get through your spine, which is going to help with alertness in your brain and of course your coordination and all of that. So having something you do in the morning is really important. But if you say to someone, especially to me, hey, get up and exercise in the morning, like, oh, fuck no. Even just saying that, and I don't even mind the idea of doing that, but just saying it, it sounds like a lot. It sounds like going to the gym, it sounds like sweating, it sounds like agony, right? Like, oh gosh, I gotta exercise. But if I say, wake up and stretch, that's less stressful, right? It's still, because of the vagueness, in my opinion, it sounds like a lot, like get up and stretch for an hour, get up and do all the things that are uncomfortable. Like, you're still like kind of, your mind is like wondering, okay, what's next, right? And that could be where you are when you get up. You're like, I'm fine with stretching, that's okay with me, but what stretches, right? What do I need to do to stretch? And what is the best way to go about that stretching? So is it just get up and stretch whatever? Like, of course not. There are certain things you should stretch, but then there's also a certain order that's safest for you to stretch, right? Like, you're not going to hop out of bed and start doing jumping jacks. Like, you might want to like stretch your arms a little bit first. And in my case, I cannot just hop out of bed and start stretching. I am very slow to wake up. I think that's one of the main reasons why I don't get as much done in the mornings, because like mentally my head is like, okay, we're getting started. It's like really slow cranking of the wheels. So staying in bed and initiating my stretches in bed has been very, very, very helpful, because I get that like flow and that burst of oxygen and movement in my body, and it actually helps me to get out of bed, versus to telling myself I'm going to punish myself a little bit when I get out of bed by doing some stretching that I don't want to do because I don't want to get out of bed, right? So I'm staying in bed, but I'm doing the thing that's good for my body, and that thing that I'm doing for my body is going to basically have the impact of making me want to get out of bed. So this is where I'm at. I'm going to move all this stuff up here. I'm going to drink a little bit, so. I have like drink, peanut butter, Ritz crackers, Go-Gurt, if you saw my Insta story, and my phone and my journal stuff over there. I'll get to that eventually. But let's say I'm laying in bed, right? And hopefully, I don't say hopefully you live by yourself, but if you have a partner, if you have you share your bed in any way, like maybe with a pet even, it is one of those things where, the person or thing next to you can totally impact the effectiveness. Because if somebody's cuddling next to you, if your dog is cuddling next to you, it makes it so much harder to get up because you're like, oh, I just want to stay and cuddle with you. So ideally, if you're doing these things and you have a partner, you can do it with them, or you are very clear to them about what you are doing in the morning so they can kind of be aware and get out of your way if they need to. But yeah, so basically, say you're laying on the bed, you're under the blankets, so you're not underneath the blankets. My first concept, and I think the best way to do it, is to wake up your spine a little bit. Because again, that's your spinal cord, everything's stemming from that area, everything's kind of being juiced up through your spinal cord, right? So laying flat on your back, you're basically just going to lift up one knee, pretty easy, right? And you're going to squeeze, and then you're going to pull it to the other side, and this is where the spine twist comes in. So if you've been laying down all night, you might even hear or feel like a pop when you do this. But again, this is specifically to wake up your spine. So I don't want you to focus on like stretching your legs or even your hips for this one. Like you can if you feel like it's not painful or it's helpful in that situation. But the whole point of this one is to get your spine involved. Because again, that's going to be the first point of sort of waking your body up, getting oxygen into your body from being asleep all night. And then I am going to pull both of my legs up. This is going to stretch my lower back a little bit. Once I'm here, I'm going to spread my legs this way. This is going to open up my hips now. And my back, I should be able to feel my back being flat. So this is another way to kind of check in with your spine, align your spine a little bit. And then if you can do this one, this is the happy baby pose. So again, this is just kind of helping with your hips, helping with your spine, and then it's also going to activate stretching in your quads and in your hamstrings. So I can stretch my legs out a little bit from here if that's comfortable. If it's not, I don't have to do this part. This is just a second variation flexibility wise. You can also pull one leg up if that's comfortable and then switch to the other leg. Because I am trying to work on my flexibility, like I will be doing these specifically, but this is kind of more like adding, if you want to have a lengthy routine, if you want to have something short and easy, I don't recommend doing the leg part here. But then you're going to come up like this. So we're still in bed, right? We were laying down that whole time. When you do those specific exercises or motions, even just now, like I don't know if you can hear in my voice, but I feel like, oh, I just did something. Like I feel like a little more awake, a little more alert. So even just that, again, it's enough to kind of wake your body up, and it's natural. It's a routine that's healthy for you. Stretching your spine, warming up your hips. You cannot go wrong doing those things in the bed before you even get out of bed, right? You can do that while you're holding your phone. You can do that while you're under the blankets when it's cold. It takes all of 2 minutes, and that's if you're moving slow, right? Like you don't have to hold each of them really fast. Okay, so I'll show that one more time. First, you're just laying flat. You're going to pull one leg up. You're going to pull it to the side for the supine spine twist. Then you're going to pull it out this way. And then you're going to go back down. And then the next one is the opposite one. You go back down. Then you're going to hug your knees to check your back in straight. Then you're going to spread this way. Okay, you can stop here and come straight up. Or you can come up here, come up here, come up here, come up here. One or the other. It just depends on how much flexibility you want to add in the morning and how much time you have. You can always gradually add those things into. I certainly did. And again, having the sequence is important. They are running in with each other for a smooth flow. So if you just start and you get up and you're like, I'm going to stretch this leg, I'm going to stretch that leg, you're not starting off the most effective way, right? It's like using a block when you run track and you're running like a far distance. Like you don't need a block, right? But if you're running a sprint, then you need a block. And so in this case, we're waking up slowly, so we kind of want to slowly get out of the bed instead of just like jerking ourselves. Now, if you can jerk yourself, if you can jerk yourself out of bed and that's your style, good. But some of us need to work to that point, right? Or some of us like to wake up in a slow, relaxing way. So it really just is whatever works for you. But safety-wise and flow-wise, I do recommend you start on your back, move from your spine, and then come up to your legs. So now I'm sitting in my bed, I'm sitting upright. This is just a simple touching of the toes, right? It's not that complex. One of the last ways to stretch your legs before you get out of bed completely, right? So again, by this point, you should feel awake enough to get out of bed. Like you should be like, okay, I can fucking move. I got out, I moved my body enough to like, I don't have to stay under the blankets anymore. So the next thing you want to do, what I recommend you do is just one more spine check-in. And so this one is just across your foot over your knee. Put the inside of your knee, or the outside of your right knee into the outside of your left elbow, and then twist. Again, keeping in mind this is for your spine, not anything else, so pay attention to why you're doing the stretch, and that will help. And just twist both ways, like that. Okay, so now we're ready to actually get out of bed. You can do this one of two ways. You can just simply hop up, right? Let's say I just got out of bed and now I'm standing. I can come up like this, and I can stretch up and then stretch to the sides. I like to be standing when I do this one because I feel like I get a deeper stretch through my sides when I do this. But if you still need more time to get out of the bed, we just came from this one. We came here, we came here. You can just hang your legs off the bed like this. So now I'm hanging off the bed, and I can start my side stretches this way. Okay, but you do want your legs to be at least hanging. You don't want to be fully in an L sit anymore. So switch it up again. If you don't feel like getting out of bed yet, or you can't get out of bed yet, come up to the side of the bed, let your legs hang forward, and you're good. If you are standing, I'm going to just pretend like I'm standing, and then I'm going to go back down to the ground. But yeah, so I rolled out of bed, I'm standing up now. This one is pretty common. A lot of people do this one naturally when they get out of bed anyway, but you just want to lace your fingers together and pull up. I like to think about pulling my shoulders up away from my belly button. So my belly button's going down and my shoulders are going up. And then move to one side. Same thing though, you don't want to crunch. You want to pull up and over, up and over. So we did one side, we did up, we did one side, then we did the other side, then we're going to go back. And then forward is a forward fold. So if you were doing this in sitting on the side of your bed, by the time you get to the forward fold, your butt should be up out of bed. So if you're sitting like this, and you went from this side to this side, and you went back, when you get up, oh, you're going to come down like that. Right? Pretty easy. And then another spine stretch, because these are going to wake you up the most. Here. And here. Last one, bent over. Instead of coming up like this, lace your hands behind you. So like that. Pull your arms up so you get a deep shoulder stretch here. And then I like to come up like a door, like a hinge. And try and keep your hands up as long as you can. Keep your arms locked out if you can. And you'll really feel stretch in between your shoulder blades and in your clavicle in this area there. So that's basically the stretches to get out of bed. Again, I do this in the morning. It's been really helpful for me because it wakes me up before I officially get out of bed, instead of forcing myself to get out of bed and then wanting to run back into bed as soon as I go to the bathroom. So if you're like me and you get out of bed and you gotta pee immediately, you're like, I don't care what else is happening, I have to find the toilet. So if you just did this and you came up, you might be like, I'm standing and I'm going to pee. So if that's what you do, go pee. If you're okay to wait, you can do the second part right away. If you're not okay to wait, you can do this part in the bathroom, or you can do this part when you come back out of the bathroom. But the idea is that you don't have to leave your space to do this if you can't or don't want to. So you do not have to go to the bathroom first if you don't want to. I do, because I have to go to the bathroom. Maybe one day I won't, though. It's not necessary. So now, let's just say I came up here, I'm up here. Now I'm gonna find the side of my bed. Hopefully you don't have like a futon or a very, very short bed. If you do, this might not work out for you very well, so you can get like a chair or a couch or even like a window seal. If you really don't have anything and you're strong enough, you can do the wall like this. But it just depends on your core flexibility, your hip flexors. I'm not very strong enough to do this. I could, but it's like a lot more work for me, so I'll use the bed. But yeah, you don't have to. You can use a chair, you can use your bed, etc. So I'm gonna basically have it out to the side, and what I want it to be is, I don't know if you can see that, but perpendicular. One's going straight down, one's going straight out. Again, depending on how high your bed or chair or whatever it is you're using, don't go higher than 90 degrees. So this is 90 degrees right here for me. Again, that's like all up in my ass. That hurts. So I can't even do that. But one day. So yeah, I'm here. Leg is out to the side. I should feel it like in my hip and even in my butt. I feel it right now. So I'm just going to come down. I'm going to try and touch my toe. You can use your hands for stability if you need to. And then you're going to turn and you're going to go the other way. So I like to do these ones at least 3 times on each side, because for me, this is about the mobility part and making sure that there's fluidity in between my hips, because I am going to be maybe walking or sitting or just functioning as a human, and doing these things is important. Right? So that's that one. And then the last part, and this is important, is the final mobility check-in. Your leg stays attached this whole time. So we went down, we came up, we went to the side, we went back down again, then we come up, and then we twist all the way so that our foot is now facing behind us, and our front foot is now straight in front of us. So one's behind us, one's in front of us. This might be enough of a stretch for you where you're just like, okay, this is good. I feel it in here. Again, my hips are usually always tight, so I always feel like when I show you examples of hip stuff, it might not show the full range, but you can bring your leg all the way up if that's comfortable. This is as far as I can go. And so now I'm going to use my front leg, and I'm going to bend down so that I feel the stretch out in the front here of my quad. If I don't feel the stretch, I can scoot forward a little bit more. But this is kind of like doing a deep lunge for the back leg, okay? This is not for the front leg. This is for the back leg. So move your front leg as far forward as you can. You want to try to avoid bringing your knee over your foot and try and keep your knee above your ankle. But yeah, that's it. That's the whole thing. So I now will switch to this side. Same on this side. Again, I like to do it at least 3 times for the mobility aspect. So up, over, and then down, and then over, down, up, over, down, up, over, down. I'll do one more, down, and then up, all the way to the front here. And then I like to just kind of let this stretch out a little bit, like I said, flexibility wise. 3 of these. Okay, so that's the last part of the morning routine. It's not supposed to be a workout. It is a wellness exercise, a little bit of stretching, a little bit of mobility, waking up the spine, waking up the brain, so you can get started with the rest of your day, all right? That does not count as the physical activity of the day. That is something that I think is important to have every single morning to start the day. Just like drinking water, just like drinking coffee, just like brushing your teeth, going to the bathroom, walking your dog. This is something you should do every day and not consider it work or exercise. It is just part of your morning routine, like drinking water. I really, really, really want to stress that, because having these little exercises in the morning are going to have so many benefits, from reducing the brain fog to lubricating your brain, your body, your joints, everything as soon as you wake up in the morning, and not waiting for things to kick in later. And then it's also going to give you a chance to check in with your body straight away. Maybe you, I don't know if this has ever happened to you, or if you know someone this has ever happened to, but they get up and they move a little too fast, or they do a little something funny that day, and now they have a limp, or now they have a strained elbow, right? If you do these exercises in the morning, you're allowing your body and your brain a chance to check in. And a lot of times you'll notice, like, oh, there's a little weak feeling there. Or better yet, your body will have a chance to kind of move into itself. And then if you do slip a little down the stairs, you have the reaction time to catch yourself, or you have the flexibility to slide a little bit more without completely toppling over. And I'm totally making up these scenarios in my head, but as I'm making them up, I'm like remembering times where this has happened to me and thinking, if only I had my advice back then. Speaking of which, I have a fucking massive bruise. Do you see this? I don't know if you can see this. I have never, and I mean never, had a bruise like this. I've never even had a bruise that is really like a bruise. I've had like hard, like soft spots, or like spots that like kind of were like swollen, but this is another level, and I don't know when it happened. I have not been wearing shorts, so I don't know when it occurred, but I put shorts on like 2 days ago, and I saw it, and I was like, holy fuck. It doesn't hurt. I am a little bit afraid that I'm dying, because who just gets a bruise out of nowhere? It sounds like death, but I'm going to try and just keep it pushing for my channels. Yeah, so that's the routine. That is getting ready to start your day. Another thing you can add if you're, tighter shoulders or anything like that, is while you're sitting, you can always do some of these. These never hurt, right? Everybody can benefit from these. But I do not want it to feel or turn into a full-on routine. Like, exercise. If you want it to be that, by all means do that, but I don't want you to confuse this activity for an exercise, because again, this is something I think should be in your routine, just like, again, drinking water, eating breakfast. It should not be something that is separate from those daily activities. A workout, you're setting aside time, extended amount of time, putting yourself in a headspace, whereas this routine in the morning is autopilot routine. You don't and shouldn't have to think about it. It should come naturally to you, and it is something it's part of you, right? So yeah, that's the routine. I'm going to be making a YouTube video out of it. I feel like I've just basically did a long version of it. I need to edit it, make it sound way better. Thankfully, I have been using Chat GPT. Actually, I use Gemini. Fuck Chat GPT. That Sam dude can lick balls. I mean, I know he does, but he can lick ones he don't like. Yeah, so I use Gemini to kind of help plan out my my outline, I guess, for the video, because I'm trying to get it down to 20 minutes. I just feel like a morning exercise routine that is supposed to be short and sweet should not be a video that's an hour long. Like, who knows how long I've been streaming? It should not be a video that's an hour long. It should not be a video that's even 30 minutes long. Like, I feel like it should be very quick. Like, watch this, now do it. I feel like those are the most helpful for me. Like, watch it, now you feel confident enough to just do it right now. Don't wait. Don't feel like you have to go get equipment. Just do this shit right now. You're sitting down, just do this shit right now. Right? You're laying down, just do this shit right now. So that is the idea of the first video, and yeah. Gemini was basically like, bitch, you don't have time to say any of that. Like, you're a yapper, and you need to wrap it up. And I know I'm a yapper, and that's why I have this stream, and I hope you love it, because yappity yap yap yap. This is where I yap so I can make it better, and yeah, make it better. So pressure me. I want to have this out. I want to have this out in the next 7 days. I don't want to come back on Sunday next week and have an excuse or issue. Again, my goal is to be able to just have something that I feel like I put a clear, confident effort into, not something I just threw together aimlessly and then, kind of go back and find all the holes, but make a very conscious effort to have everything together and then make a better analysis off of the research I've already done and the work I've put in. Yeah, so I'll do a little quick view of my setup. I'll show you what I'm going to be doing while I am multitasking, because I know this was supposed to be me doing stretches while I was multitasking. That was supposed to be the stream, right? My stream was supposed to be me working on stuff and stretching at the same time, which would be the multitasking, right? The thing and the stretching. Those were the things that made up the multitasking. But I got so excited, / I needed the autopilot, let's be fair. I needed the autopilot to stay on course with what needed to happen next, because trying to just talk and stretch was proving my point as to why it's important to have a routine and sequence of everything. So this is how I'm setting up. This is going to be my first full setup in here. So yeah, you get to watch how I do this, because I have never done this before. Normally I spread everything out on my bed, and I feel like this space is bigger than my bed, so I should be able to do it all just fine. But yeah, let's see how it goes. So normally on my bed, I've got a lot more space this way, but that's alright because I don't always use it. So I have my snacks and stuff are always to this side of me. And that's going to be my drink. This is one of those special adult sippy cups that doesn't spill. So yeah, my snacks are going to go over here. My yogurt's already getting warm. It's pretty standard for me. And then I'm going to have my phone over here for now. But it really just depends on, what I'm using I might be on my phone. I might be doing something else. This is going to be where I put like my computer and stuff. So normally I have like this little laptop. I don't know if you can see that. Normally I have like a little laptop tray table thing. And I have like my Surface out too. So I have like 2 laptops, and I don't think I need that right now because I'm just going to be working in the MacBook for my branding stuff. And then this is my planner. So let's see, do I have anything in here that I haven't done yet? Nope. Cool. I'm not totally a degenerate today. I have been this week, but not today. Today I've gotten a lot of stuff done. I'm streaming. It's only 2 o'clock. I freaking did some B-roll content. I've done a little bit of stretching. Yeah, I've been doing it. I've been doing it today. So yeah, got my MacBook, got my planner. I normally have like a bunch of pins and stuff, so I might want to go grab those, but I don't know if I'm committed to bringing everything down right now. This is a little pencil pouch that I have, so this will be fine for now. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. I feel like I do have a couple of things. I was gonna make a video about this, so I don't think I'm gonna do it right now because I want to have it in a separate video, or maybe later. But I did get a new phone, so I got a bunch of new things for my phone, and one of them is like a 360 screen, privacy screen protector. I don't know if you've ever had these or heard of them before, but if you're a paranoid person like me and you travel, you don't want somebody like looking over your shoulder, like you're on like a train or like sitting on a any public area and like somebody's standing behind you and like they can see what you're doing. It's like even I see what people are doing and I don't even want to look, like I'm not even nosy and I'm like, oh gosh, I can see what you're doing. I like try to turn my head. So I find it very, very, very comforting to know that I have a screen protector that is a privacy screen. And this one is supposed to be 360, which means it doesn't matter where they're standing over you, they can't see it even if they're standing right over you. Whereas most of the privacy screen protectors are just going to be like more like this range. So if they're like right here, they can still see, or if they're above you, they can still see. So the other thing I bought, and don't judge me if you're somebody that makes content all the time, but I bought this like headphone or this microphone set, and I won't tell you where I got it from. It rhymes with emu, or Ian, but basically it's just little wireless clip-on mics. And I got this one in particular because it has 3 different adapters. It's got a C, it's got the Apple, and then it's got the audio, like old school audio one. And since I have 2 phones now, my old phone, the one I'm recording on right now, it's got the iPhone adapter, whereas my new phone's got the C adapter. So I'm hoping that the adapter actually works, that the microphones actually work, and it helps with any sound interference in my IRL streams. And then also maybe, I don't know, because I still don't know if you can hear me outside. I'll listen to the VOD after this and see, but yeah, I might need to have it in here so that way you can't hear the outside as much. I have a sound wall up here, I just put it in, but I don't know if that even makes a difference in any situation. So yes, I have this. I hopefully will be using it soon. I know I want to do a lot more IRL content when the weather's nicer. And then I got this thing. I don't know if you've ever seen it before. I feel like they're all over TikTok right now, but it's basically one of those like suction mounts. And so basically, if you've ever seen these before, one side is a suction cup, which means if you have a flat surface like glass or like really smooth wood or metal, you can use this to stick to that surface, the flat side. And then this side is magnetic, and so if you have a magnet case, if you have like an iPhone that's magnetic, You can stick it and it will basically give you the opportunity to mount your phone anywhere you want. And I am really, really excited to try this. I hope it works because, as y'all know, I am not the content queen right now, and any chance I can make content without having to think about it too much and just have it going, like recording in the background, I'm not like holding it and thinking about it, I think that will be really good for me. I also got this, I don't know, I also got this selfie ring light. I don't know if I will use this because I don't know how much I'm going to be making content in the dark. Like, I don't know that I'm going to be like, let me put my ring light on so that I can do this IRL content in the dark. Because I'm definitely not going to be streaming in the dark. Like, I would just turn the light on. But I got it anyway. It was like $1.50 or something, and I need to practice making content, whether it's photos or film. I do need to practice, just like I need to practice with, you know, getting dressed every day and fucking leaving the house, all the routines. And then this last one I got, it's nothing special, but it is a cord, like a power cord, and it is like multifunctional. I love things that have more than one function. I'm so Japanese. So basically this is a USB, and then inside of it is a C, so the male portions of the C and the USB, and then on this side as well we have the iPhone, and then another C here. So depending on what you have, this is like pretty heavy duty. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if Apple does this on purpose, I'm sure they do, but ever since I started talking about getting a new phone, I have been having issues with my iPhone, and the one that I'm recording on now, which is the one that's having issues ever since I started talking about getting a new iPhone, which is about a week ago, it's not charging. It's functioning okay, but it doesn't charge. It won't charge with the iPhone cord, so I know it's not like, oh, you need to use an iPhone cord. No, I have 2 iPhone cords. Neither one of them are working. And then I obviously just bought this one. This is like super heavy duty. Works on everything. Doesn't work on my iPhone. My iPhone 14, I'll say it's an iPhone 14. My new one is an iPhone 16. So the iPhone 14 is not charging on the Apple branded chargers. It will only charge with my portable travel charger that I use when I'm like leaving the country. It is like super bootleg, like it's like an Amazon charger, right? It's got like the built-in cords, and it's charging with that. So it charges with my little portable bootleg fast charger. It's not even a fast charger, it's just a charger, but it's not charging with my Apple cords or any of the other ones. So again, I think it's something related to AI and Apple's ability to have interference with your phone to cause you and make you need a new one, or get frustrated to the point where you go to the store so you can get it fixed, and then you see a new one and you're like, oh, I guess I'll just get a new one. That's my theory, because I did nothing. I mean, nothing to this phone. It hasn't been near water. I didn't fucking drop it. It was the moment I started talking about getting a new phone. And to be 100% honest, which kind of sucks because like I have a new phone, the day I got my new phone was the day it stopped charging. And you know how I know this? Because I went to plug in my new charger for my new phone, and I plugged in, you know, my phone where it's always been, and my old phone, no charge. I did nothing different. Plugged them both in at the same time into the same block. Okay? Won't charge. So, what the fuck, Apple? I hope it all gets worked out. Yeah. So if I was just doing this and I wasn't recording myself anymore, I would be pulling up my TV, which again might be the reason why I ain't getting shit done. So yeah, so I got my big TV. What's this? Oh. Oh, yesterday was Friday, huh? I thought yesterday was Saturday. I didn't watch any of my normal weekday things. It's okay. Okay, so this is what I would be doing, and I'm doing it live on stream so you can see how hard my life is.
He still has like some of these opinions that he just like, or they don't think it could happen to their kids. Their idea is, hey, shouldn't have fucking come over here. You get those kind of people. Broke the law. Shouldn't have fucking come over here if you can. You want to get your kids separated. If you were in the presence of a woman who came over here from Guatemala and she's poor and she's starving and they're taking her baby away and she's wailing and screaming from a primal place in her DNA that the one thing she loves more than anything is being taken away. A baby. Yeah. If that doesn't freak you the fuck out, you're not a part of the team, man. You're missing it. You're missing it. What are we here for? We're here for 100 years of whatever. That's what we're here for. If you want to spend 100 years saying, hey, shouldn't have fucking broke the law, I don't want you on the team. You're an asshole, right? And I don't give a fuck if you're right or left. I don't care if you're religious or I don't care if you're an atheist. If that's what you support,
anyways, I am watching Hassan watch Joe Rogan, so it's super meta right now. Do a commentary on the commentary on the commenter.
Like, who is this guy? Who is this guy, bro? Policies that I don't agree with. And we could have a discussion about it. We could figure out why you agree. And we could figure out why people are allowing all of this money to get into politics. Why are we allowing all these special interest groups and lobbyists to interfere with our laws and influence our politicians and create all this shit that we don't want? You know what's really funny about this, by the way? I'm going to, of course, being the narcissistic consumer that I am, to make this about me.
I didn't know Joe Rogan had tattoos.
Back then that I do now, which is why I always
laugh. He's got tattoos all over his arms. I had no fucking idea.
That's why it's hilarious when motherfuckers try to pull that shit on me. For what reason? You can't just vote online. You can't just vote. It's not one person, one vote. Right. It's the Electoral College, and there's a lot of checks and balances that are in place. It's all wonderful.
When did Joe Rogan get tattoos?
The trust to the people. Right. The trust to the people that they're informed.
I also feel like when did Joe Rogan have hair?
Should be able to make these decisions, but they're happening now. That 28-year-old girl who won in New York, 28-year-old Democratic socialist. Whether I agree with her or not, and I don't know if I do or don't. I bet I agree with her on a lot of things. I think education should be free. I think we should figure out a way. If we could pay for bombs, we could pay for schools. I think this idea that everybody should have health care, it's a great idea. Who the fuck wants people to not be healthy? Who wants people to be hurt and not be able to fix it? Are you really saying that struggling people should have to pay exorbitant amounts of money to get fixed when we could maybe chip in and help members of our team? That's stupid. Feel it out. Figure it out yourself. I'd have to. You got lucky, bitch. You got lucky you don't have leukemia. You didn't break both your legs when you were 18. Your parents are dead. Right. You got lucky, piece of shit. These are people on our team. Right. Because I'm not talking about people who are lazy, good-for-nothing losers, mooching off the system. You're going to have that, too. Well, we got to figure out how to educate people so that happens less. There you go. That's the little bit slowly creeping in. A little bit of right-wing reactionary sentiment at the tail end of that. The mind virus, baby. Yes. I mean, that's perfectly permissible, by the way. But it is slowly but surely, it just like takes over your entire mind.
Dude, that first part, if you're saying that about the immigrant children, you're not on the team. I haven't heard anybody put it better.
Well, yeah. Rest in power to Michael Brooks, by the way. If you just start tweeting this clip out every day, it won't do anything. I mean, but look at this.
Oh,
this
it's super old.
Joe has everybody on, doesn't have Sam on, still to this day. 2018 is 7 years ago, yeah. Yep. 2018 is 7 years ago. That's when I started streaming on Twitch. I'm an old man, dude. I'm an old ass man.
have been doing this for a decade plus. I've been doing this for like 12 years now. And I started at least like streaming on Twitch with Noah, ironically enough, who at the time was the senior editor of Jewish Currents and was like working with Vice too, and doing Vice stuff. All these guys, I would play Fortnite with them. Felix Biederman, Noah Cohen. Isn't that wild?
So, I'm just thinking as I'm sitting here, like, I'm
That's why
trying to
those
keep
are
my
kind of
back
like,
very
like,
straight.
when you guys come in here and you're
Even
like,
though it looks like I'm
well,
just sitting,
a bunch
like,
of
I'm
your,
still
like,
trying to, like,
former
think
co-hosts
about
or
what I
whatever
could be doing.
have
Because I'm
parted ways
eating.
with you or whatever. It's like,
I'm
no.
eating my ribs. And
There are
butter.
people that I met along the way, and some of them actually revealed their heinous worldview in the process, but I'm still with the OGs. You know? Like, think about that. One of the dudes I used to play Fortnite with is my normie friend. That's who I went and saw the Stavros show with last night. And my brother. Yeah, I got a lot of day ones.
Yeah,
You're an asshole.
that actually
Just
is
basic
that's
moral
the most
Anyway, let's get back to Joe Rogan now.
Here we go. Becoming a new guy is a very effective way of slipping out of the shackles of judgment anxiety. Simply identify a crowd that you want to belong with, and then reconfigure your entire personality in order to fit in with that group.
It's like, you remember when Madonna had a fake English accent? Everyone's like, bitch, you're from Brooklyn, or where the fuck you're from. You're not from England. You can't do that. Yes, they all jumped in the back of the U-Haul truck together. There has never been a thing that I've ever seen where almost immediately I was like, those are feds. A thing that I've ever seen. A thing that I've ever seen. Some people are barely holding on to reality.
You're right.
Barely.
You're right.
All you get is one smack, one.
If you adopt all their beliefs and then convince yourself that they're the only group whose opinion matters, then you never have to worry about being judged and criticized ever again. What a relief. This rap guy, Machine Gun Boy, he too became a new guy recently by employing the new body, new guy technique himself.
I'm in a new body. I literally am in a new body. Like, I covered everything on my arms and my body. I left windows to it, but just like there's windows to my old work, but I'm a new person. So the evolution is like led me from a caterpillar to a butterfly now.
Transition into a new guy is very difficult, and it takes many years to become fully immersed in the self-delusion. But upon reaching the maximal delusion saturation point, your simulated self becomes more real than your original classical self. And the transition into a new guy is completed. And after years of waffling on the fence, as we enter the year 2025, Joe's transition into this new guy appears to finally be complete. Well done.
Yeah, I remember that they were probably messed up. The reason they're doing what they're doing is because something happened to them earlier on. There was an aggressive, teacher, uncle, somebody that just
Maybe a dad.
The dad was drunk.
Yep.
There's stuff that pushes them in that direction to be expressive, controlling, and wanting to be acknowledged. And
He took TRT, bro. He was in on TRT. Are you kidding me? Joe Rogan used to talk about taking TRT openly too. Joe Rogan is the reason why I still say once I hit like 35 or whatever, and I start noticing my T levels decline, like I will most likely get on TRT. Joe Rogan is a more formative person in my development than I care to admit, even though I admit it all the time.
do it exactly my way because I was powerless as a child.
And when you said I beat up kids, I beat up other women, Joe Harrison was, when you farted in your house, they knew next door. How could I get away with that?
Yeah, for sure, right? And then that's the thing you see with actors too, and they finally get some success, and then finally you have a few people in. Like, oh, look, it's Mike. Your bagel's ready, Mike, and your trailer's ready. And then Mike is like, get me a fucking coffee. And Corbin, I can't eat something for you. And then people act in this disproportionate, very insane.
Did you talk to a physician about T-levels though? Yeah, no shit. I'm nowhere near it anyway. It doesn't matter. Everybody calm down. Every little doctor in the chat, calm down. I would never do it without actually consulting a physician. I would never do it until it got to a point where I was experiencing like lethargy or a genuinely significantly lowered sex drive.
Way. You know what? I'm sorry. Jamie, this coffee sucks. I don't know what happened, but you made it like almost. It's literally like almost like water. Can we get some more? We're going to talk about this. This is the worst coffee I've ever had.
The exponential here, by the way, is,
I have a theory that steroids makes you right wing, brother. There is something that steroids actually does do. It is diminish your mental capacity. This is objectively correct. When you take steroids, you become dumber. Dr. Mike Israetel openly talks about this reality.
Okay, well,
As a
this
steroid
is what I'm going to be doing for the next, hopefully, at least
So,
3
not
hours. What
wrong.
time is it?
Taking steroids.
Yeah,
does
it's 2:30
make
ish right now.
dumber,
So
which will
if I
then
am being super
make you
on point
right-wing.
productive, by the time I leave this room, I will have fully scripted out what I need for my YouTube video, and I will be going through
I did.
B-roll content
I'm telling you.
for making the video.
Get me a fucking coffee.
I don't think I'm going to film anymore today
Coffee's terrible.
because I want to make sure that what I have is working before I just collect even more and more.
Bullshit.
Looks like
terrible.
And it really makes you wonder, like, how many times has Joe done this? How many new guys has he transformed into over the years in order to avoid actually facing the dad hole head on?
Well, shut up. I've been on prednisone for 30 years and I'm nowhere near right wing. I am dumber though. Yeah, see? I'm just saying, the dumber you are, the higher the likelihood that you will become right wing. There are a lot of brilliant, incredible, thoughtful, wonderful dumb guys out there who are not. Having said that, the dumber you are, the higher the likelihood is that you will be swept away by right-wing thought.
And who is the real Joe Rogan underneath all of those guys? And do the old guys still exist somewhere? Or do they float away to die in some astral plane? Oh, or maybe one of those other branches of the multiverse. I don't know, but it's all very friggin' cerebral. So just a quick recap, we're exploring how did comedy get so shit? And surely you know the end of this shit cycle is coming.
All right,
any
well,
day now. You're all
again,
aware of the ever-growing
this is
industry of
just
guys
a bonus
putting out how
Saturday
shit
stream. I should be back tomorrow at 6 like I normally am for Sunday stretching. And I hope that you enjoyed today's bonus stream. See ya!